start the recording and the stream, and hopefully it works properly this time.
Okay.
We should be live on paper. And Baines is here, because he wants us to
Al-
talk about his legend.
Already.
Yep.
Nice.
This, well, let's hope the stream is working well. And are you ready?
I am. Oh, Benji. Beyond hype.
Well,
Nice. So nice.
welcome everyone. This is going to be the week 8 recap of the top 3 divisions of Gman. This week I'm joined only by the wonderful vikingkop.
Good afternoon, guys. Good evening.
Yes, Infinite Pink once again is dead or missing in action. I'm not sure what's the difference now anymore.
Mm, we are going to be fair and say that he has some connection issues in his new flat. He told us in advance that as it may happen that he, missed the connection as happened last week.
Yes.
So,
This week we are going to focus on Division 3 and hopefully not make it 3 hours long. So we are starting with Division 1 and we're going to go back to the format of just looking at the last games and the future games and not looking over the teams because that takes way too long. So starting with the first match in Division 1 of Week 8, Metal bullied some of the Undead.
yeah, he completely bullied them. They played yesterday,
Yep.
last game of the round in Gman 1. And when I saw the number, it was like, come on, 8 casualties for the Nargel. What
Yeah.
has happened here?
And like 5 region out of 8 failed. So it probably was just Metal playing against an empty pitch half of the game with those KOs as well.
Yeah, Metal mentioned that he removed, like in turn 2, one of his mummies and maybe one white too. So, yeah, General Marauder was playing on his back foot too early, maybe, against a very high TV Nargel team. And, well, yeah, eventually he couldn't make it, but it was a closer game that we may think because, of course, Metal played an 8-turn grind in the first half, scoring 1-0, and then General Marauder was able to equalize like in 4 turns because he's playing with 4 ghouls,
Yes.
most of them with blotch, who are very fast players. So he brought up the tie. But then Metal was able to make some shenanigans with his super agility ball carrier, the agility 5 blotch must die Pestigore,
Yes.
and then scored in the last round with a GFI, was it? With a failed GFI reroll into a
Ah,
success.
no tripwire.
It was really close.
Yes. After that, you played and very possibly destroyed T's every single hope and dream.
Yeah, well, the Omis were already falling apart. They had this fabulous streak of playing Sage, then Mid, then Metal, because they are playing Metal next week, and this could be uh, the end of the team. They have now 7 players, I think 3, 6, 7. One of them is MNG, and the game they played against me was super fun, but super brutal too, because they went on doing Umi things. It was very funny. They scored in 2 turns in their drive with the classic thrower pass, catcher catch score play. And then in my drive, they used a wizard that they had scammed to bring down my ball carrier and to score again. So they were leading 2-0 in turn 5. Problem for the team is that they had no bench. So every time I removed a player, the numbers were going downwards for them. He had also removed 2 of my players in turn 1. It was like, okay, the Umis are, you know, doing really barbarian, really Norse things. But they did lose the attrition war as it was expected, and also got a few big hits with the niggling of John, who is now retired. So
Yeah.
we have retired a legend of the rebel, and we are sad about that. And also the death of Pedro, who had no better idea to build a screen than to base one calamity blow Beastman, who effectively punched his face into his to his body.
I didn't vote for basing with Pedro.
Mm, I don't think it was a good idea. He was trying the potato play, try to score. He was going for the win, but it was too risky, and he paid the iron price. It's a pity. The game was very funny, especially the first half. The second half was just humans exploding everywhere.
I'm willing to take some time on this because it's kind of important for Rebel. What do you think about firing John? Because I know I really don't like that, but maybe you have a different opinion.
Mm, John was minus agi, no, minus movement niggle. So it was still movement 7 because he was plus movement somewhere, and agility 5. With a niggle, your player can live. I mean, depending on the development level of the player, you have to live with some perms, and there are some perms that you can accept. An eagle in a high level, in a high, in a high development, high SPP level player, I think it's perfectly acceptable. It will be a hindrance if he gets hit, but if you play smartly, he won't get hit very often. I mean, I have two nickel players. I think that Knife Juggler is also nickel,
Yes, he
and this is
is.
a lion in your team, and this is perfectly acceptable. But I think that maybe T didn't want to see John dying because he still needs to play a few games.
Yeah.
So he decided for the romantic exit to say, okay, he's done his job. It's better for him to retire now, alive, let's say, in the collective memory of the rebel, instead of following the path of Pedro,
Yes. For poor Pedro.
now known as Dedro,
Dedro. Vote Dedro. Yeah.
Super Dedro. Yeah.
My logic for not firing John is that with Pedro dead as well, you pretty much will never have the money to get like all the four blitzers back in a bench, and John is definitely better than a rookie, even though he's very expensive.
Well, considering that he's going to play with like a million inducements next game, he can easily induce a wizard. Uh, he can easily induce some star players like
Griff
who
and
is this?
Zags.
Yeah, Griff, for example, and a lot of mercenaries because human mercenaries are only 80k and are very cheap, and you can use them as fodder, so they die instead of your super players.
Yes.
But yes, I think that he at the moment was really maybe hot. Let's say he had a hot mind, or he was really pissed with the brutal destruction that his team had suffered out of nowhere, especially after the incredible beginning of the game in which he was injuring my players and scoring easily, and it was like, but yeah, it's sad.
And after that we had Sage and Gaudi draw, and that was like a pretty devastating result for Gaudi because it drops him even more from first place. And Sage lost one of his Chaos Warriors.
It was absurd. I also watched the game. Sage lost a Chaos Warrior to a gun foul early in the game, like in turn 2 or 3, dead Apo dead. So
Always dead after dead.
there's little you can do against that. And then he was not able to dent the rats at all during the first half. I think that there were barely any casualty or removal, so Gaudi was just taking advantage of this fact to hit his players once and again. But first half was Sage's drive. Eventually, he broke the rat line, and the rats just ran away. And instead of scoring, he tried to make a handoff into his new Chaos Warrior, or into one of his players, one Chaos Warrior, I think. But even with a reroll, it was a failure. So the first half ended 0-0. And then in the second half, Gaudi scored after some smart moves of the ball. Um, and Sage was able to equalize with a bit of luck late in the game. It must be said that Gaudi rolled two blitzers in this game. With Skaven team, this is super strong. And also that Sage was what did he do? He minus armored the super thrower of the rats. So
Yes.
the rats now I have a armor 6 thrower that is not playing next game, and for that I am extremely happy because this week we have a Spanish duel in Gman 1.
Yes, we'll look at that in a minute. After that, we saw uh, quite an upset from Philbo. He drew against Reef Cannon 2-2, which is impressive for Orcs to score twice in a game. And he really destroyed a lot of elves with 7 casualty and a death and a kill.
May I understand that Philbo made Philbo things?
Yes. Well, Philbo always does Philbo things. We just don't understand how they work most of the time. Yeah.
No, but 7 casualties with an orc team against Rift Cannon, it's brutal. So
Yeah.
these numbers are mental. This is not the. I mean, I'm not able to do this kind of figures in a regular game.
That's because you're not Philbo.
Yeah, of course.
That's the problem.
That's because I'm sensible and not mental.
But I don't think anyone important died. After that, the Uruk-haikus defeated the Bye-Week, an impressive achievement, and
Yes.
I drew against Manusatra, breaking my win record, and that game was quite frustrating. I think the statistics say... Oh, the MVP definitely says a lot. Fuck that guy.
Knife
And
juggler, yes, good job, man.
the statistics do say a lot. I also tried this week to compete in the most blocks but no result competition. I had 4 breaks. One of them was from a foul that was also a stun and a send-off, of course, which was fun. But yeah, I was able to stop him on his offense, which was the first half. Then he gave me some room, so I was able to score even though being quite a few players down, because he did really put the pain into my team. And then I was nearly able to stop him from equalizing the 1-1, but a Black Orc intercepted, which didn't allow me to throw the ball away from him to a position where he cannot get it. But we tried. I'm definitely happy with the draw considering how the dice went that game, because
Yeah.
it was close to a defeat.
Don't talk to me about having a bad time against Manu Satra.
we don't remind that. Also, it was
I remember it too well. The one is still fresh. I think that I hope that he reaches the playoffs so I can return the
revenge.
favor
Yes.
during the one-to-one games.
Yeah. Also a pretty disappointing game in terms of SPP for me, because
Mm.
thrower SPP is bad and the idiot is an idiot. I don't want SVP on him. He's getting closer and closer to the 250, which is too much SPP not being useful. But yeah, after that, in a very surprising result considering the state of their team, Jungle Corsair was able to win 1-0 against the High Cells, and we see another legend getting the MVP. I think there is a theme about legends in Division 1. They either got retired or got the MVP.
There's nothing like a good legend getting the MVP.
Yes.
Adding more bloat to the SPP count. It needs to be mentioned that currently the Jungle Corsairs are below 1000 TV.
No, they got back up after
Okay,
that
they got
game.
back, but they were
Yeah.
below in that game because they were missing one blitzer, and one of these blitzers is new, so Bobby is
Well,
new.
they were below if you don't count loaners. With loaners, they were above, because they
Yeah,
had
well,
like
but I
5.
mean base price. So they were playing this game with one blitzer and effectively 5 linemen. So it was like okay, and the rest were loners. So I didn't see this game. I couldn't watch it. Missed it completely. Although I love watching Dream My Five games, and I guess that he induced a couple of star players. Some I don't know Wizard probably, and he played with that. I chatted with him. I congratulated him after the game because I was not expecting it, and he told me that there was a pitch invasion in turn 1, that really helped him with the result. Because yeah, the result is just a 1-2 nil, and elves versus elves, especially with wood elves in the pitch, that's not normal. Zero SPP for the high sales. Oh, come
Oh,
on.
I know that feeling.
That's rough. That's
Yeah.
really rough.
I see hubris on the SPP chart, so I assume hubris did some damage, at least an injury and possibly some KOs, which is definitely useful.
Yeah. Strength 4 Mighty Blow is very nice
Yeah.
against Woodies.
Pretty surprising result considering how the Jungle Corsairs were entering this game, but they have been able to recover from quite awkward spots in the past. So if someone can bounce back again and again, it's definitely the Jungle Corsairs.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
with
93% ball position. Look at these figures.
yes,
This is amazing.
I saw it. It's like Venator held the ball for a turn.
Yeah, no more. Eh? Of course, he didn't score.
Uh,
Wow, 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 wow. Maybe,
I
no,
think he
no, I don't
like
know.
pick up the ball, then get lightning bolted, and never picked it up again.
Yeah, possibly. Or, yeah. Oh, what a disaster.
Yes,
And then
and
29 more blocks, 4 KOs, 3 injuries. Some passing. No passes from the high sales. Yeah, they did not have the ball, definitely.
yeah, he had it for a turn.
Yeah. So Longbong did nothing the entire game, but got the MVP. Good.
Well,
Coolios.
no one did nothing for the entire game, so
Well, he
Longbong
survived.
got the MVP.
He survived the entire game. That's something.
And with that, let's go and take a quick look at the leaderboards because it's getting quite messy after, like, if you ignore me, Gaudi, and vikingkop, which are somewhat all fighting for first place, but I'm definitely in the lead. But Gaudi can probably pull up. vikingkop, you have a longer way, I would say, considering
Well,
the state of your
I'm
team.
only 1 point away from you, so I don't think it's
Well,
difficult.
no, you're 4 points away from me.
No, I am only one because you know that I'm going to kill you in our game in the last round.
Tell that to Metal and Sage!
Well, Metal I already won, and Sage, I'm not scared of him anymore.
Well, yeah, but
Not with his
like,
teammate others.
did you see what I did to Metal and Sage?
I saw what you did to Metal, and I watched Leaf what you did to Safe. That's true.
So, don't be so confident.
Have you seen my team? Have a look at my team now.
Yeah, you have like the tail guy that I really want to kill because it will frustrate you and a lot of niggles.
Yeah, I'm 5 kilometer below.
That's well with the niggles I can
Yes,
take
yes.
damage
Welcome
up.
here, orcs. Come to die.
Yeah, but we have the best weapon of all, more guard.
That is true.
Best weapon of all. And yeah, Gaudi is also up there in the competition, of
Yeah,
course, but he's not
I
here for
made
banter.
I made yesterday the path to playoffs
I
prediction
actually
using
didn't have the
Harrison.
time.
Yeah, but you have 1 week extension
Oh,
apparently because this morning while commuting I was listening to the podcast and Harrison gave Metal 1 week extension. So I take that everybody can have some days to update his prediction. And the tools that he uses for the prediction, for the
yeah,
feeding
it's
the
really good.
possible
I
results,
played a bit with
is
it.
really good. And after I finished my my forecast for Gman 1, it was Gaudi in the top. And I said, okay, I was not expecting the rest to win this, but well,
Well, if you
they may
assume
be
that
able to
you
do that.
definitely beat me, then that opens a gap for Gaudi to go
Hmm.
in, especially if I don't win against Gaudi in your prediction. But if I do
Yeah,
win
because
against Gaudi, then I think I put him down enough that I can afford to lose to you.
because you haven't played him yet.
Yes, I haven't played pretty much everything I have left is elves, you, and the T, which doesn't really count as a game, which is the main reason why I took a tackle on a Black Orc. So, I'm
Yeah,
quite.
you got tackle in a black orc. That's cool.
Yes, I have 4 tackle now, which is nice.
Huh? Nice. I was tempted on picking tackle on my level of my level 6 Beastman.
Just to have
Strength 4
another
and
tackle.
mighty blow. Yeah, but I thought, okay, I have enough tackle. Let's go for
There
more
is
crow.
not
Why not?
such thing as enough tackle. You will learn with time. But yeah,
I will get another tackler in a few games once my fourth Chaos Warrior levels to 60 to 76 if he lives.
yeah. I would dare to say that the winner of the division is probably going to be who wins between the face-off of me and Gaudi. Because, like, if
Could be.
very likely that it will not be a draw, because a draw is really weird in that matchup. And just the one forcing a loss to the other and getting a win himself is really impactful. Of course, if either of us lose to someone else, that's also going to be huge.
Mm,
And
yeah. So
after,
CrowdDog, don't worry, you haven't missed Division 3. We're still in Division 1. Yeah, I would like to brag a little bit as the current reigning champion of Gman 1 that I'm going to win it again. But my
it's not going with
best,
too much
my,
Viking Cop.
no, I'm going to be honest. My last games or my final games this season are going to be really tough. I'm going to play Gaudi next week. I'm going to play Sage. I need to play Filbo and Rift
That's
Cannon, and then I have to play you. So these are really really tough games.
yeah, five tough coaches. I think you're good enough to probably qualify from your position, but winning the division really requires you to not take any loss. Considering that I only dropped one game, and it's a draw,
Not
which is a lot better than a loss.
not even that. I think that I also need to win everything,
Yeah.
and that's so difficult. So difficult.
And after that, we have quite a scrum. We have Sage and Metal both equal on 14 points. Manusatra only 1 point behind with 13. Dreamify on 12. Now, I'm not going to say that Dreamify will do it, but Dreamify will do it. Then we have Reef on 11 and Halub on 10, which is quite close, considering that all those coaches are are fighting for two spots right now.
Hmm.
So, who were your predictions for this? Because I
Well,
didn't do it. And
yeah, I did it. Yeah, I try to. Well, I usually think really conservative when it comes to Blood Bowl, so any surprise can blow my prediction away. But according to my prediction, Gaudi was first, you were second, I was third, and then it was Sage and Manus
ooh,
Atra.
gambling
So,
against
but very close.
Metal.
I mean, but yeah, yeah, because Metal needs to play Gaudi. I don't think that Metal is going to win this game, and also a couple of other stupid games he's having. I don't
Well,
know why
the thing
he
about
was.
Nergal is that it's probably the best team with dealing with a natural one-turner because of disturbing presence. Because it can actually do a thing that matters against it.
Yeah, but I'm not even thinking of the one turn about the one turn. I'm thinking about the wizard with Skaven and
True.
the kill power that these rats still pack because they
Well,
have one crowd pump killer and they have the fowler who they put to very good use and they will have a million inducements.
yeah. Well, I don't think it's as easy a matchup as you would describe, especially because Gaudi lost a lot of important gutter runners and
No,
only
no, no, no,
one
no.
claw
I'm not
guy.
saying easy. No, 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 no. I'm not saying easy, but I'm saying that it's going to be. Metal has had a record of
Flopping
struggling.
when it matters.
Yes, no, 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 no. But they're struggling against agility teams or Skaven who simply refuse to die. So if the rats are able to survive the onslaught of Mighty Blow, because Claw is not counting against them, basically, that Metal is going to throw at them, they can perfectly do that. A well-placed wizard with a ball hug recovery play, or the
Well,
one turning working.
yeah, still not an easy matchup in any way.
No,
Would be
one that
definitely
I
one
don't
to
want to
watch.
miss. Yeah,
Yes.
this game I don't want to miss myself. I would like to watch
Yes.
it live.
I don't know. Like I definitely think Reef should be somewhat with a chance as well, alongside
Yeah,
Metal, and I really want to believe in the Dreamify dream, because it would be just so good.
the Dreamify is yes, the Dreamify dream. Exactly, Dree. Um, yeah, I would love him getting to playoffs, and I also like the yeah. Um, I would also like Riff. get into playoffs because he is such a good coach and has a good team. But apparently, when everything is going fine for the Dark Elves, they have a crazy game against Filbo and they die. Or so 3-2-3 are not really impressive figures in terms of competition. Are good figures. I mean, you are in mid-table. You're comfortably sitting in. You're competing. You are not going to get demoted by any chance, and you still have a shot at the playoffs. But I think that they have a team to be a bit more upward in scale.
Well, you're not going to get demoted because about half the division is going to
Mm,
re-roll.
that is true. The other day we counted, it was like 7, 8 teams possibly rolling. That's madness.
Yes, it is. Well, with that, let's look at the next round matches. First of all, we have Jungle Corsairs against the Undead. This is actually a matchup where Drefai doesn't get much inducements. Who did you say will win this one? Because you did your overview, and
I probably say that Dreamify because Nuffle simply hates Undead in Gman
uh,
1.
I'll accept that. The Undead are not bad, but not really exceptional in any way. And Dreamify, I just want to believe in the Dreamify dream.
Mm. I like the romantic epopeyas. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
After that, I'm taking a match against Venechar and the High Sails. It's not going to. It's possibly one of the tougher matchups I have
Ooh.
left. But I think I have enough tackle to deal with his team, even though he's going to get some inducements. But not too much because of a loner.
Yeah, but he has the immortal lineman, John Blowham,
Yeah,
that you are not able, you will be, you will not, you won't be able to remove, That's for sure. And he will kill your players because he's crazy. Well, this is very hard to
no,
predict.
it really
He's lost his super catcher, but still has the best throwing game. So if
no.
he can do the elf bullshit, you will find issues. Still, you have a lot of stand
Stand
firm,
firm,
right?
yeah, stand firm does really well in this matchup.
So the one turn
That's
becomes
not
a bit
happening with
difficult.
four stand
Yeah,
firm.
that's true. So well, how's the TV difference? Like 300 something?
Less because he gets a loner. Actually, no, 300, yeah, because he gets a
Hmm.
loner.
You can expect a wizard and
Yeah.
some shenanigans.
So it really depends on how much damage will I do and how well will he get. Will his wizard work? I think I can win this one, and definitely drawing should be doable. But yeah, it's not going to be an easy one. Venture is always a tough matchup just because he plays really aggressively and sometimes the elves hold. But I do have 4 tackle, which really helps in this matchup. Cause,
Maybe it's the time for Knife Juggler to shine, eh?
well, randomly he injures linemen, so that's how he got to legend. So maybe he can hurt John blow him up. Although he was really bad at hurting Terry Tennant, so I have doubts.
Yeah, Terry Tennant was immortal in Gman 1. I
Yes.
mean, the rest of his teammates were dying left and right and center around him, but he continued pushing forwards with 2 smashed knees.
Yes.
And yeah,
After that, we have Manu Satra taking another orc team. He's taking the Uruk Haikus. I think this
ooh,
one is a really tough match for the Uruk Haikus, just because like they have 4 guard and Manus has 7 guard and more strength ups.
yeah, he
Because
kills
like
teams.
even with a troll from Halub, so maybe something like a Reaper can bring enough strength to be a pain to Manus, but I think on paper this matchup really favors the team with more guard.
On paper, yes, but the Uruk Haikus have the card, the special card to play of the one turn teammate, and they have an agility for Goblin with sprint
Yes.
and sure fit. And if this works, they can easily tie or win the game, just because of the silly play.
Yes. Sadly, because of the troll being a loner and needing both to make really stupid and always hungry and a 3 plus throw, it's not the most consistent of plays.
It's not reliable, but when it happens, it
Yeah.
is funny. You know that it almost worked against me. I mean, he made in the turn 8 throw teammate play, and he threw the goblin into scoring range, and then he ran past my lines, scoring dodging everything in a 2 plus, and then he snaked in the tripwire.
Oh, that
Even
sucks.
with surfeit, it was like come on, unfair, completely unfair.
Yes. After that, Red Cannon will take a very tough matchup against the Bywick. I believe the Bywick will win this one.
Possibly,
Yeah.
possibly.
And after
It
that,
remains to be seen.
hmm?
Remains to be seen.
Yeah, it really depends if the admin knows how to read. I think Major Byte does it, so most likely it will be okay. But I have doubts. Yeah, like it's written in a confusing way. After that, Sage is facing Philbo, the one and only.
Oh, this game is also worth watching because Sage is down in TV versus the Orcs, and that's no bueno.
Yeah.
No bueno.
And
Uh,
Philbo is crazy.
and Phil was crazy, yes, and he's going to pile on and fall like hell.
Yeah.
And Sage is if there is something that Sage has been doing really well this season, it's been losing players.
Yes, he's been dying very consistently. I think Sage can lose this one, and I think if he loses this one, then his chance at playoffs will be diminished
Yeah,
greatly.
of course, greatly. He needs to win this one.
Yes, and after that, we have probably the most expected match of this week, I would say. You are playing Gaudi.
Oh, this is going to be an amazing game. This is I'm going to ask him if he wants to voice chat or at least it's going to be a crazy
Ushu.
stuff. This is
Ushu.
Alpha and Omega. This is the craziest Kevin versus the Killy Chaos, and it can go any way. He has lost one big asset for this game because the thrower uh, is a super useful tool for the one-turn touchdowns because he's agility 4 accurate leader. So it basically gives him the extra reroll he needs to make sure that his one-turn attempt is successful. And I think he has no bench right now.
He has one in the
Right?
bench, but he has
One in
enough
bench.
inducements to do the classic
No, he.
Skaven thing of going Hack Flame, Skitter Stab Wizard, which means you're facing 6 Gutter Runners and a Wizard, which is really
Yeah.
tough to deal with.
Unless they start dying.
Yes.
We will see this. I will try to put a dent in them. I try to
Yes.
target his best players and try to basically
Kill
make
this
some
guy.
vermination. Now this guy is going to be really tough to kill because I will have to chew
I'm
through a few
talking to
players.
Deathfloor.
That floor is perfectly nice. Yes,
Kill him,
yes,
Deathfloor. Do it.
that's perfectly acceptable. Yeah, I
Do it.
recognize that.
And after that, we have the sad match of
Met-
the week. Metal gets to kill T even more, and probably make T hate himself even more.
in that T wins this game.
If T win this game, I'm going to go to Metal and tell him that he played like shit. Because he probably did. But yeah, T's going to have a lot of endorsements. I wouldn't be surprised to see. He has about 1 million, so Griff, Zag, Wizard, some bribes, some babes, some apples are all on the table. He can even induce blitzers to replace those that he's missing. Like, he definitely has options, but none of them are very strong, just because of how strong Metal's teams is.
Yeah,
Like,
Metal's team is really powerful now.
Like, you induce a star player, but he has Tackle Nurgle Warriors with Claw Mighty Blow, so he can probably just kill him. And that's your game plan gone, because Wilfred isn't going to win the game on his own, sadly. Especially with all the disturbing presence.
Yeah.
Going to be a tough one for T. Any final words for Division 1?
I think we are done.
Yes. Yeah. Going to be interesting to see who manages to get spots 4 and 5. And the fight between me and Gaudi is going to be interesting, especially when we reach the point where I play Gaudi,
Hmm.
because I
Fun
do get
question.
him to I do get to play him in 2 weeks, which is after Metal plays him and after you
Um,
play him.
yeah, I bet that you are rooting for a tie between Gaudi and me next week. I'd say yes.
I'm rooting for Gaudi not winning, because I don't like, the thing is, like, I wouldn't mind if you win, because like it would be fun, because I like seeing you win. I really like your team, and I really hope you would do better in the playoffs. And you winning is still okay for me to recover from, because
Yeah, because you will probably have a
well, the thing
one
is,
to four lead
like the
still in
thing is,
ahead of
if I just lose to you, then I will still be ahead. If I win
yeah,
everything else and lose to you.
yeah,
But if Gaudi wins, then I cannot drop any game, which is tougher to deal with. And the fourth and fifth slots are going to be messy, just because you have so
yeah.
many contenders.
There's going to be a very big competition for this.
Yeah, I really like
It would,
having 5 slots, because if there was only one slot, it would be like a lot less interesting, and a lot of like eventually we have like one guy being really like two, even 3 guys being really close, but just like one more draw will give the playoff spot, which
yeah.
is a lot
I
less fun.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely. I think it was one of the best moves that the Rebel admin team made this season because yes, this kind of rewarding or promoting the top divisions and yeah, and the coaches who have sweated and killed his way up to the top. It's yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, as we said before, Metal is here. It's going to be tough, and vikingkop said you're not going to make it, so I don't know. You're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, it's not like I don't want Metal to do it. Absolutely the opposite. But I was playing yesterday with Haring sort of stuff for the path to the playoffs, and for some reason, it was Gaudi winning, and then Manius making fifth, and Metal was just six short by 1 point or two. I no idea.
Yeah. To Metal as well, I think the match against Gaudi that he has left is also going to be a crucial one, because if he can manage that win, then the rest of his matches on paper should be rather simple, because he has T, Gaudi, which is a tough one, then he has Black Pyramid, which is a tough one, but a lot easier compared to Gaudi, I would say, and
He well,
Uruk-haikus, Umis, and Dreamify should be easy.
so basically he has the Umis and one and some orcs, and then the rest are elves and Skaven.
Yes.
This is not the best combination for Nargle, but well,
Well, when the elf team is dead, then it's not that hard. So Dreamify, sadly, like the thing is, after a point, inducements are not very good, and so metal being like 2 million and something doesn't really matter when Dreamify is that much down. Because after like 2 stars, a wizard, babes, apples, bribes are not that good. Like 2 bribes, that's not enough to cover the gap of 1 million TV.
that's true. But on the other hand, it's not that strange to see any of these games ending in a draw.
Yes.
And a draw means that you're losing 2 points,
Yeah.
and
Draws
that
are.
can be costly at the end of the season. So that's why maybe now that I'm thinking of the prediction, or random prediction I made with the tool, maybe that was one of the reasons in which Metal
Not
our
qualifying.
collection was not making it. But I really want him to do it because I don't know if he has been in playoffs ever.
He's not been in playoffs. I have been in
Oh,
playoffs.
come on. We
Gaud is.
need Metal in the playoffs.
But Dreamify also wasn't in the playoffs. So we need Dreamify in the playoffs.
We also need Dream I find the playoffs. That's true.
Yeah.
Especially because we are re-rolling next season, the three of us. So, yes, we deserve it by rights
Yes,
of
of
some
course.
kind.
Knowing Dreamify, he will somehow decide to keep the team.
No, not really.
Yeah, but like this team is the second oldest team in Gman. You can't fire them so easily. Oh,
Mm,
Dreamify has been to playoffs.
no.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Was it Venechar that never made playoffs then?
Exactly. Dream My 5 went to playoffs in the first season of the regular second when he was playing in second division. That's true. Venachara has never made it as far
Yes,
as
it's
I
probably
know.
Venechar then. Well, instead of me looking stupid about not remembering stuff, let's go to Division 2 and we look
Division
back at the
2,
matches. Uh,
the fun division full of chores.
yes, that one. Infant Pink was dead, managed to win against the Wendor. I don't think we're. Oh, wait.
It was a good game. It was a bloody game. Look at the stats. Look at the stats.
Looking at the stats. Oh, two people die. I'm not too surprised that Pink won that one, considering his team was more developed. But he took a lot of damage from that. With that strength 4 Beastman dying, that's going to hurt long term.
Yeah. And then I think a rotor, but look,
Yeah,
nobody
but
cares
they
about
are not
rotors.
really people.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good result for the division, seeing Infinite Pink losing an important player, even if he won that. Might make him his path to playoffs a lot harder. After that, we had a draw between a Chorf team and Svaros Darkubs, and we see another MVP death. Oh,
Yes. MVP going to legends or dead players
yeah.
are the best. Or loners.
Always. Or dead loners.
Dead loners like last week.
Dead legend loners.
How come the trainer can this happen? Of course,
No.
he's a big guy. Yes, you can have a loner, big guy, legend.
Yeah.
You imagine a
So
legend chainsaw with skills like bloods,
that would be
sidestep,
so
sneaky kid,
silly.
sneaky kid.
That would be so silly. But yeah, big death there on Svarho. But a result not bad considering Chovs are a very tough matchup for Dark Elves. It's one of
Yeah,
their worst. And after that, I think I saw.
the Mighty Reptiles won.
Yes, they
Bleeding
took
hippie, huh?
against the match against Bleeding Hippie. Hippie does get more damage, but I think the strength of the lizards and the speed of the skinks was enough to save the game for them. Even
Well, I
though
see.
a lot of SPP for Bleeding Hippie and a level for his killer. I don't think he took it yet though. So we may never know what Grumpy will
Mm,
take.
What do you take with the killer now?
On the normals, it's quite tough. I think you just take guard, because
You go for
guard is
you're going
good.
to pile on all day, all night
Yeah,
with
but
this player.
when you don't pile on, guard is really nice, and you have another claw mighty low piling on. So
Yeah, true.
so sometimes this guy doesn't blitz, so he might as well have guard. Because
And grab?
also Crab is kinda weak, I would argue.
Mm.
Because
I like to see more grab in some teams.
yeah,
It's a skill that I rarely see.
I have grab on a Blackhawk, but on a killer it doesn't really like you blitz most of the time. So yes, it stops sidestep, but like stopping sidestep is weak. Like grab is good when you can use grab actively and get a good position thanks to that.
Hmm.
Especially like he doesn't blitz for self, he blitzes for damage. But yeah, tough level up and quite an upset I think on the leaderboards as we will see in a bit. After that, a draw between the Cash Crew and Nostalgic Memories.
Two to
So,
two draw. That's nice.
yeah, the very elfy humans drew against the very elfy elves.
Oh, and the elves killed a human. That's
Ooh,
good.
I would like to see that if it's someone important. No, probably not, because the humans are still really expensive, and I don't think anyone important died. After that, we had a draw between a Chorf team and
Oh, this
Underworld.
game.
I think
This game was on Tuesday. I watched it. I was mental. Absolutely mental.
uh,
The Underworld got won the toss, and in the first drive, they decimated. but absolutely decimated the Chorfs. They made like 3 injuries in the first turns. One Chorf was injured with a random block from a thrower with block. It's kind of why. And then some fouling was happening. Not enough fouling, in my opinion, because at one point the 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 Chaos Dwarfs had only like 4 or 5 players on the pitch, and yeah, the other world had the entire bench, so I would have gone for massive gang fouls into the Bull Centaur.
Yes.
And they scored really easily in the first half, but in the second half was the other side of the coin, and they really, really felt the pain. And they tried the fireball play, did not work really well. They were not able to sack the ball. The ball was loose, but they did not pick it up, and then the Chorfs started demolishing the poor goblins and rats.
Yes.
But it was fun again.
Quite a result, putting Big Easy TP somewhat down on the tables, which is going to hurt him. Also, Majorbat got another point, this time against the Chaos team.
Oh, great! That sounds against the
Yes.
fumbling base militia.
There's not a lot of damage in that
No, no
match.
deaths this time. No deaths this
Yeah,
time.
very
That's
few
kind of good
injuries
news
as
for
well.
Major Bite.
A lot of stuns, I assume, on the armor breaks. But good time for Major Bite not losing anyone. Maybe
S-
one day his team will be good again.
Scald is got the
Still,
MVP, right? Yes.
yeah,
So he's in his way to. He still has a long way to get
yeah,
to legend.
that's
But this is an
nowhere
amazing
near.
player.
The
It's a blood.
Berserkers are still bad though. That's the problem.
Well, they're rookies, but
Yeah.
this Ulf Strength 5 Break Tackle Blots Frenzy Mighty Blow.
Yes,
It's,
he's
it's,
really
it's,
good.
it's with claws, it would be like a Super Yeti.
Yeah, but he doesn't get close.
Yeah, well, instead he gets Blots and no loner.
Yes. After that, Humanly Bear won 2-0 against of Ice and Dire, and Loner MVP, as expected, some kind of wizard, taking a loss here. Probably really beaten up considering the KOs and injuries, which makes sense that the humans took a 2-0 victory thanks to that. And with
Yeah,
that,
well, the injuries were on the human side, right?
yeah, the humans injured, and
Ah, okay, it's the other way around. Sorry, I'm
and the
stupid.
Regent didn't do much, which is never
Oh,
good.
so we didn't, we didn't even have the chance to enjoy any potato play this game.
There is always a chance to make some potato
Ah,
plays when you're some kind of wizard. Never underestimate him.
hmm.
And with that, let's go to the leaderboards. And Bleeding Hippie, despite losing his match to Creatan, still in the top.
Look at this! Look at this! There is 1 point between the first and the fourth.
Yeah,
This is
that
crazy.
win from Creatan really makes this messy. Because ZTP 1 point behind the pack, poor guy. Then Svaho 2 points behind the pack.
No, no, wait, wait, wait.
And Ken and Lavajack are only 1 win
There
behind
are
the pack.
only 4 points between the first and the eighth.
Yep.
This is basically 1 win to get to playoffs
Yes,
for most of
any
these teams.
like
Wow.
only 3 slots here,
Wow.
but half of the division is still in the competition. I think with so many competitors, Kyakro and Humanly Bear and some kind of wizard probably are just at too much points down, but maybe they can make it, although unlikely. But yeah, with 3 slots, anyone in the top 8 can really take it. There are still 5 games left. I, no matter what the matchups that are left are, anyone can take it from here, especially because the bottom teams are still fighting and getting some draws and
Oh,
wins.
I just saw who is the bottom team in this division and
That's
got really sad.
the one and only Major Bite. So, who did you say is going to win here? Because I don't know
Hmm.
how to start without, even with the spreadsheet, life will be hard, I would say.
Let me check my prediction because I have it stored somewhere. No, no, no. Mm. Uh, 1 second.
Do- do-
Yes, I have it here. Yes. So who is going according to my calculator? It is okay. Bleeding Hippie is leading the division. Uh, in my prediction, then the mighty reptiles, and then in third position because he had some bad games in the past, but we love him really too much. Is uh,
The dead guy.
Infection Incorporated. No, the Nargle guys
Uh,
of our good
yeah,
friend
the dead
Infinite
guy.
Pink. Okay, okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense, but there is so much that could happen. I think anyone in the top 8 is definitely a contender. I would really like to follow this up. And if it stays so close, going to like week 11, week 12, then people should start stream those matches just because of how tense every result is going to be.
Yeah, exciting times.
Yes, and let's look at the next week and try to make some predictions. Infection Inc. against Humanly Bear. I
I predict that there are some humans exploding in the near future of the Division 2.
I believe in the death of humans. I think you're biased because you just destroyed T, but
No, I did not destroy T. T destroyed himself.
uh,
T and Dead Floor.
yeah, I think Infinite Pink will have the better matchup, but if the claw doesn't hit, then the humans can still take it, and it's going to be a very scary game and a very tense game, because losing this game very likely pulls you away from the playoff spot.
Yeah.
So, like, that tense, like, the fear of not getting the playoff spot might end up costing the playoff spot for one of these coaches.
I think that the key here is, as you said, you really hit the target. You have to play without fear.
Yes, but fear is a thing that happens in Blood
Yeah, well,
Bowl.
Blood Bowl has a lot of psychological background in the play style.
Yeah, I
So
believe in psychological warfare.
so if the humans play with fear or afraid of losing players because of the scary team they have in front of them, this is going to be a hindrance to their performance, and they may lose this match, as we say, even before they jump to the pitch.
Yes. Well, going to be an interesting one. After that, we have of Ice and Dire against Alviso, some kind of wizard against
I
Mazorbite.
want to see Major Bite winning his first game this
Yes.
round.
I will believe in some kind of wizard being a potato and letting Major Bite win this, but I think on team-wise, some kind of wizard should have the stronger team, even with the crazy berserk Ulf Werner from Major Bite, just because of how good a werewolf is, because the werewolf can also carry the ball and has claw, which is quite nice at hitting Ulf Werner's.
Yeah, of course, because he has a lot of armor 8 in his team. Oh, wait.
Well,
I think that if you put Grey Wind in front of Scald, Grey Wind really runs away till the horizon, you know, yelping.
also with Major Bite being so low on bench, but not getting too much inducements, the dirty players are going to bring the pain.
How many players in the
Right
Norse
now,
team?
he's on 12, but he can go to 13. So maybe that's not too much of a concern, but that would mean pretty much no inducements. And Dirt Player is still scary to remove your few good players.
Yeah, but what I see here is that the of Ice and Dire team is not as developed as I remembered it.
They
Maybe I'm
lost a Flash
confused.
Golem and a Werewolf during the season, and the
He's
Ghoul.
lost some, yeah, some goal. His style has the super werewolf, and then the
Yes.
rookie werewolf, and then the flesh golems are not. There is no Nigel. It's a minus agility in one flesh golem, perfect for intercepts. Just roll sixes. And then he has some dirty player. Oh yes, oh yes. I
The
think
Dirty
he's
Player
going to
is
put
good.
this dirty player to work with the armor 7 of Major Bite. But I really no. I mean, no offense intended to some kind of wizard, but I want Major Bite winning one game already. It's season. It's sorry. It's round 9 and he's 1-0. That's unfair.
Well, it's still not going to be the easiest one, but I would definitely like to see Major White win. After that, we have the Fumbling Rage Militia against the Underworld. So,
Oh,
Fedic against Carlosib. This is going to be weird because the Chaos is kinda dead, and the Underworld is very silly.
okay, so I see a lot of claw that is pretty much useless, and- but
Well,
for the troll
it's
and
important
blitzers.
against the good pieces of the opponent that also have Claw.
Yeah, but I've seen Carlos playing, and I've played Carlos myself. He's a nice guy. Um, and he plays it smartly. So he doesn't take unnecessary risks. He's really a good coach. His positioning is very good. He knows what he's doing. And the key here is how much tackle do the Chaos have?
Well, the Chaos have 2 tackle and
To
some
tackle.
block against no dodge, only dodge goblins. Also, one of the tackle do have Mighty Blow and Strength 4
Mm,
horns, so
yeah, yeah.
hunting
So
goblins is going to be as simple as it gets.
yeah, yeah. And these are a natural 3 dice in a blitz because of strength 5. So yes, I think that courtesy bear is going to be a prime target for the underworld team to take away or to tear apart. And well, we will see. I've seen this underworld team performing really well this season. They've got a few too many draws, some of them because of sheer bad luck. And I will say that this time they're going to get the win.
Wait, is there a week where vikingkop didn't vote for the Underworld?
But underworld
We
is,
may
they
never
are the
know.
cute guys. You know, they are the underdog,
Wait,
and
wait.
everybody loves the underdogs.
And the Dead Chaos isn't the underdog.
No, not at this TV. I'm sorry. I'm a chaos coach,
Yeah, but they're like
and I know.
1400.
Yeah, but that's because you have been killing yourself, your chaos warriors. So junior, 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 junior. It's kind of mental. No, but at this TV, at beyond 1,500 TV, I don't consider chaos the underdog anymore. Maybe it's not the favorite, but not definitely not the underdog. With 2 claw mighty blow, no way.
He's
And
under Claw Mighty Blood in this matchup.
yes, that's cool. That's so crazy. That's what I like of underdog. Underworld teams basically run around 2 blitzers and a bunch of ragtags filling gaps,
Yes.
right?
The troll is
So,
nice. The troll is pretty good. I
this
like
troll is
him.
very nice. Yeah, absolutely. He did nothing in his last game, as far as I remember, but having a claw mighty blow guard troll, it's cool.
Yes,
The
he's
blitzers are very good. One of the blitzers, that is the cloud bomb horns. That's a very dangerous piece.
yes. It's going to be an interesting one. After that, we have Nutty Dread, which is big ZTP against Lava Jackal's Nostalgic Memories, which is going to be a really interesting match.
This is going
Even
to be
though it should be a very good matchup for the Chorfs. They are missing a Chorf, but they still have quite a lot of Tackle and Mighty Blow, one of them being a Bull Centaur with Tackle Mighty Blow. And on the other hand, Lava Jackal has Elf Unions with a lot of stats.
I think that the Chaos Dwarfs are missing a blocker for this game.
Yes.
It's the same. At least it's a rookie blocker, so no mighty blow, no guard, no skills on this. Um, they're going to get some inducements, so we expect to see some wizard and some bribes in this game, especially bribes.
Yes, with two
Because,
dirty players.
2 fouls that I saw from them into the last game yesterday. Yesterday, yes,
A
yesterday,
few days ago.
Tuesday, no, 2 days ago. Against the underworld were automatic send-offs. Boo, bad ref. There's a dirty player in nostalgic memories.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
Well,
cute.
they are not going
I
to
like
use it
this.
so much considering that in this matchup, especially with AV7 elves, you are going to take a lot of damage. Because your
I
game
hate
plan
Gman.
is score a lot quickly before you explode, which means a lot of LOS blocks for the Chorfs, and usually means you really explode quickly, especially against so much Mighty Blow and Tackle.
Mighty Blow and Tackle was doing anything in the first half of their last game, and
That doesn't
also
how dice work.
it It was clear that the Natty Dreads have been doing some shopping in the Bargain Boosters armor discount store. So, so well, I mean, nostalgic memories were leading the table some
No,
rounds ago.
Hippie was leading for a long time.
Okay,
If you
so it
look
was in
back at
Division
it,
3 where we have pro elves doing pro elf things.
yes, and
But this
then
team, is perfect. I mean, team is really well developed. No perms in this team. One guard, plus stats, bloods everywhere. Bloods is not that important against chores, but yes, it is still important because they have only 5 blockers, no tackle spam like against
well, they
dwarves.
still have six tackle with Bull Centaur having
Oh, there is a
tackle
bullshit with that.
and Mighty Blow and Blodge break tackle, which is really strong in this matchup.
Wow, that's mental.
He's going to be a pain to deal with. And there's also a
Absolutely.
sure hands Bull Centaur with Agi 3, so ball sacking is not going to be simple either. And there is no stray ball, but still, I don't know. I think this matchup is just so good for the Chorfs, regardless of the teams. And with the teams, it's even better because like Natty Dreads really have a strong anti-elf lineup, and the Nostalgic Memory just don't have enough nonsense. I think to take it because they don't have like a natural one turner like some Skaven teams might have, and their ball sack is really weak in this
Well,
matchup.
they may not have a natural one turner, but they have 2 movement 9
Yes,
catchers. And this is huge because only one, no, you need 2
two pushes,
pushes. Yeah, but this is really easy to get, especially with no stand firm and with a garter.
but only one guard. It's a thing you can force dice still,
Yeah.
especially because the Chorfs do have some guard to try and mess you up. Like
Yeah.
the
Well,
big problem is if you need like 3 assists to do the first block, and then like no, that's not happening. Especially if he's willing to risk Bull Centaurs on the line, he can. I would even argue completely stop the chance because he can force red dice as the first block, assuming no quick snap, of course.
I've seen High Elf team. How is it? It's in Division 4, I think. I don't remember the name. I'm going to check it now. Um, Scoring a one-turn touchdown against 3 Tom Guardians in the line of scrimmage.
Well,
Only in the rebel, eh? Only via red dice. And it was epic.
it sounds so stupid.
Absolutely epic. And beautiful to watch and enjoy.
Well, so what's your final verdict on this matchup? I think the Chorfs are
I
just too
I
good.
like the Pro Wolves. I'm biased, sorry.
Ah, well, then we have
Oh,
to
how is
disagree. Well,
this? The
usually
blood. Yeah, yeah. I know you like Charles. Boo.
I don't like Chorfs, but let's say that the amount of dirty players will be the amount of touchdowns scored by each team. So 2-1 for the Chorfs.
In that case, I can accept your prediction. Yeah, I see this. This was the bloodthirsty Sea Guard by Thyladras, who scored a one-turn touchdown against 3 Tom Guardians in the line of scrimmage last season, and it was so epic. So epic.
Well, after that we have another pretty big matchup. We have Bleeding Hippie taking the Cash Crew part 2,
Oh,
which
big game.
yes, it is top and equal and drawn second. I think this is going to be a really interesting one, but once again, like the humans really feel like elves. They don't have too much guard for humans. They do have 5, but one of them is on a catcher, which is not that strong, and they have a lot of dodge. And I would qualify this as a very elfy human team, and I have seen JJ Cash play, and he really plays more like an elf than a Mashier
Yeah.
coach. And Bleeding Hippie has a lot of tackle, a lot of mighty blow, and not that much guard, but possibly enough. I think guard might be the main weakness of Bleeding Hippie's team, but he's going to get inducements for this matchup, so he might even get some bribes.
Mm, mm. Yeah, well, it will. Well, at the end of the day, will come up to whose dice are hotter,
Yes.
and if Bleeding Hippie can get some removals, or the humans can do elfy things.
Yeah.
Really, really hard to predict.
Yeah. Bling Hippie really has a team that relies on damage. He has two Claw Pomb and two Pomb, not that much guard. So,
There are four piling on players in this
yes.
team. This is kind of,
Extreme.
uh, yeah, I would say. I mean, you know that I'm not a friend of piling on,
Well,
but
4 is even extreme for my opinion.
it's overkill. I mean, of course, once you have you have a wider choice of kill players to choose from, but I would have once you have two Mighty Blow piling on players, so two killers are more than enough. The other two
Should
guard
go
Mighty Blow,
stand
I would
firm.
have gone stand firm.
Yeah. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of stand firm. But yeah, it really will depend on will Bleeding Hippie be able to dish out the damage early enough. And matches like these are really tough to predict because of that. Because Hippie
Yeah.
doesn't really have the guard game even. The strength
Yeah.
game goes along with it because, well, JJ Cash has a strength 4 lineman, an ogre, so he's stronger in terms of players even though he has some catchers, I think. And he has
Yeah, and
more guard. And the guard is mobile.
so 13 players for the humans, and there's only one bench for the Chaos Dwarfs this game.
But the Chofs will have inducements and they do have some money in the bank to spend alongside it. So,
Ah, that's true.
I don't know, it's going to be tough to call. I think if Hippie gets the damage, Hippie wins. Also, I believe Pink just played. And he won to 1. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, he mentioned that he couldn't join today because he was playing his game. This is the only slot he found to play this game
So,
with his opponent. So let's see. Let's discuss this
congratulations to
game
Influence
briefly.
Pink then.
Gman, I don't see it.
Well, I see it in game. The bot is slower, and I just saw it being
Ah, okay.
confirmed
You are
live.
multitasking, Gerber. Come on.
Yes.
Focus, focus.
Yes. Well, I was about to close up the part about bleeding hippies, so I went to the schedule again. So yeah,
Curious.
it really depends on will Hippie be able to deal that damage early enough, because he doesn't have the guard game and he doesn't have the strength game because of that, I think. So going to be an interesting one. I think just because I prefer to see the team with more guard win and the team that doesn't rely on just murdering win, that Cash Crow will have a slightly higher win percentage in this matchup, but not by a lot, just because of how much tackle Chovs have against the amount of dodge the humans have, especially with like 3 catchers. That's a liability. And after that, we have the Mighty Reptiles against VDS Lizards versus Dark Elves, and another big matchup in terms of the leaderboard. The Lizards probably don't have sure hands, only 1 tackle, 3 Mighty Blow if you include the Crocs, and rather bloaty Skinks. On the
The
other
skins are
hand,
bloaty, but they're also good.
yes, they're
Ah,
not
look,
bad.
this dark elf team is looking so nice to get
Well,
promoted to the first division.
they lost their Palm Blitzer, which is really going to be missed against Skinks, but there is still a Mighty Blow one that can hunt them for you, and one
Yeah.
of the Blodge Blitzers is missing. So, not going to be so easy as it would have been if they played last week. But still, the Elves will have 1 bench. The Lasers will get a little bit of inducements, but nothing substantial. And the big things here are the fact that both teams only have 1 tackle, and that the Elves do have sure hand, straight ball against no sure hands, and the mighty blow. So this is like lizards usually don't do that well against elves if they don't have much tackle, because powering blodgers is tough. And because of that, I'm willing to believe that the elves do have the tool to just hunt skinks, take the ball, and just score enough to win this. but lizards can always win a game thanks to their strength.
Well, if they find the pause, because they need to find the pause in this game especially, and
Just
yeah, the armor breaks. But I point by point, I see the lizards struggling in this game.
yeah, this TV is, especially with only one tackle. I think that's going to be really bad. One tackle and no break tackle yet. So
Well,
it's
the tackle at least has mighty blow.
yes, but it's still really a lot. Like if the elves want to, they can just base the tackle and go for it, and then it's really tough to even remove just like a blodge diving tackle from the ball. That lineman can be enough to be a pain, even though he doesn't have sidestep with some key positioning of your sidestep players. Because yeah, it's not going to be an easy one for the lizards. This is usually one that proves to be better for the elves, but lizards
Yeah.
can always win.
On the paper, I absolutely agree. I have this time. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yay!
Which is the next game?
The last game for Division 2 is going to be Ken, Black Wrecker,
Ooh,
against the
can
mighty Urwender, who also hasn't won a game yet, which is a little bit sad. But I
yeah,
really
kind of
want Ken
sad.
to win this one. So, Chovs, White High TV, a few Claw
Yellow
Mighty
Jaws.
Blow.
3 guard, 4 guard. 1 guard is Hobgoblin, doesn't count. Agility, agility 4 guard Hobgoblin.
That's really good
That's mental.
to
And
dirty
then we have
players.
a Nickel Ball Carrier. Oh, and the standard minus AV Killer with Dauntless. I kind
Ooh.
of like Dauntless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have much after that. I still prefer Guard, but that's because I don't value Dauntless that much. But maybe with AV8, Dauntless becomes better than Guard because basing is really risky.
We see Grab in this team. Lovely.
Yes,
Lovely,
we
Ken.
do.
Like this. I
Uh,
approve.
yeah, I don't mind it after Mighty Blow and Guard and Stunfirm. I took it on a
And
Black Orc on my team because of
I
none
know why
reasons.
I like this. I know what. No, no, I like. I know what I like this team. They have two dirty players.
Yes. And they're going up against Wendor, who has not about the same amount of Claw Mighty Blow and some Mighty Blow, and only one guard.
This is kind of fun because this Nurgle team is almost at the TV level of Metal, but they are not scary as Metal by
Yeah, they
far.
have some more silly skills or more fun or maybe long-term skills like a guard early on a Nurgle Warrior and a Blodge Nurgle Warrior and
Bench,
all the
they,
Pestigos.
yeah, with the grab, the block. Okay, this is the blocker. Okay, no. Yeah, Benz is just making fun out of out of Ken and Christine. Okay, I will have to say that although there are a couple of Clomity Blow in this team, I still see Ken
Yeah,
with a better team, especially considering that he will have some inducements.
he's going to have about a bribe worth of inducements, which is
Only that?
actually no, a little
Yeah.
bit more because he's bloaty on the bank. Might maybe even enough for a wizard, but only that. Actually, no, Wendell is also more expensive, so still only a bribe then. Because,
Because Ulwador is also a bloated in the bank.
yeah, the bank is as bloaty for both teams. But yeah, I think Ken
Yeah.
should have the better matchup, but Wendell can do one thing consistently, and that's
Yeah.
drawing matches.
Yeah, and
So,
Urwandor can do Urwandor things such as fouling with Nurgle warriors, like he
yes.
did against Bleeding Ale against Infinite Pink. So,
Yes.
well,
It's going to be.
sometimes happens.
He might cause some upset, especially to Ken if he manages to draw this one, because that would put Ken on the back foot for qualifying. And
How is the
let's.
table now? How's the table?
Well,
Oh,
with
okay.
Infinite
Black
Pink
and white.
taking the win, then he's first now, and I think that kinda puts Human Liber out of the competition. Still, second to
Yeah.
eighth are all really close to Pink and can cause some upsets. So, lot to see in this division. It's really close, even though Pink cheated mid recap and seems to be a little bit higher than the rest, but only 2 points ahead of Hippie, and Hippie
Yeah.
didn't play yet.
Congrats on the win, Pink.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the most interesting part of Gman 2 is the fact that if you miss one win, you
You
really
miss.
take a step backwards, and that
Yes.
that hurts a lot.
And because you
That
have
hurts.
so many different teams go close to the playoffs, a single loss really pulls you down. I think that the people that are on 4-1-3, if they lose, they're kind of out of the competition. If they don't win, they're out of the competition.
Yeah.
Maybe like Hippie, Creighton, and JJ Cash and Pink can afford to draw a game, but it's still going to pull you down quite a bit.
And just imagine, think that these teams, these, let's say, top 8 teams that are fighting for a playoff spot, are going to chunk parts of each other next season in
Yes.
Gman 1,
They're going to kill each other,
because
then go to
they,
Division
they are
1
going all
and
to be
meet me.
promoted.
Yeah, especially with the amounts of reroll we have. We might see some from Division 3 going up to Division 1 as well.
True, true. So maybe it's only top 6, top
Yeah,
5.
and I believe that's Division 2, a very interesting division. Now let's go to Division 3, which possibly will be focused more than the others, but probably not considering how this has gone
Yes,
before.
because it only took us 1 hour and a half to reach this
Yes.
point. Yoo-hoo!
Yay! We're probably not going to focus really. Well, let's look at the
Yay!
results.
Crow Dog won.
Happy
That's
days.
good, even if they won against Underworld, that I like.
Ooh, good MVP on the Flash Golem.
Oh, nice. It's
Nice
actually a
result.
very good first golem.
Yes, let's look. We will look quickly at all the matches that were played, and then we'll go at the future matches with a little bit more insight on the teams. After that, last week, Bainsy lost 2-0 to Thomas T.
Well, he lost. So Bjorn not doing Bjorn things.
Yes, he didn't get much damage that I don't. Bjorn only got 6 SVP, so
Only 6. Okay,
not very
not too
much.
many.
Yeah, a lot of armor breaks.
Did he reach legend already?
He reached legend thanks because he played week 9, but we are going to look at that in a bit. After that,
Okay.
Andy Davo won a pretty important match for the division. He won 2-1 against Doc Marks Humans, which
Yeah,
puts Andy Davo up and Doc Mark down quite a bit. But we
but I
look,
think he lost one with Shelf in the process.
that makes a lot of sense. He's been losing them very quickly. But once again, we look more into the teams. We're just in a bit. After that, Samoa and Revolutionary Corpses, which is the Camry. Samoa drew this game,
Oh,
which is a
it's
big
unexpected.
upset from the Camry. Because the Camry are quite low on the table and Samoa was competing for a spot in playoffs. But this might be his setback. He took a death as well. A lot of KOs, but they probably come back. And some damage from the
Yeah.
Camry, an interesting result. After that, the non-high elves lost 2-0 to the Nurgle. The Nurgle has been really good at dealing with the elves. Sermon was able to win now against the pro elves, and before that he won against Andy as well.
Yeah, but the most fun part of this game is the fact that if you see the bot, I think that after this game, the Gaian Raiders got like 4 level ups,
Ooh,
most of them in positionals. So
yes.
Beast of Nargle, Chaos,
And,
Nargle Warrior,
yeah,
something like that.
the ball carrier seems to have leveled up thanks to the
The ball
MVP as well.
carrier also leveled, true.
We'll look at that in a bit. Going to be interesting to see the state of his team. And after that, Random Boy drew against the Three Musketeers.
Okay, which is actually something new because he was having such a bad season that
Yes, and
we were not expecting him to win this one,
I believe the
right?
Musketeers were also in a quite strong position on the leaderboard. And if Blood Bowl 2 will decide to work, we can see more about the match. Yeah, he did slightly more damage, but I think the vampires were healthy enough to do things this game. A lot of armor breaks from Random Boy. Like 50% armor break. That's a huge chunk, but maybe he had some fouls. And for the last match we had Sean Man winning 2-1 against the Amazons. I think we expected that. Sean Man is definitely one of the favorites for winning this division.
Yeah, big rat next rat. That's
Yes.
true. He got a level in the Garter. That's
Yes.
also nice.
Going to be probably block, which is good.
Dirty player, come on, dirty player.
No, he has card. And let's go look at the leaderboards before we start looking at the teams as well. Sean Man sitting on top with 19 points. Andy Dave 1 point behind. And Steve another point behind because he drew his match. After that we have Thomas T only on 15, which is quite a big gap compared to Sean Man when you look at Division 2. Doc Mark and Sermol 1 point behind Thomas T, meaning 14 points. Crow Dog 13 points. Mr. Ladybug 12 points, and the Skaven on 11, and after that it goes even.
Wait. Mr. Ladybug was leading the table a few weeks
Yes,
ago.
but he took
What
a
happened here?
lot of bad results. He lost to Thermal.
Oh,
I believe he drew week 7. He drew against Doc Mark. Then
yeah,
he. Uh, I'm really not good at finding the team.
it's been like
Yes,
three
he
losses in a
lost
row,
to
maybe.
Thomas T. Yeah, like it was lost last week, draw the week before, lost the week before that, then another draw to Bainsy 4 weeks ago, and then and 4 not wins in a row. 2 of them losses, 2 of them draws. That's a lot of points he lost in the last few weeks. So yeah, what were your predictions for this division? Although this
Bum,
seems quite
bum.
easy to guess. Like,
Division 3. Finally, I've given the first position to the primetime nibblers this time.
ooh,
And
not
then
surprising.
Andy Dalpo going second and Samoa. So no, okay. So basically, the classification as it stands now is my prediction for
Yes.
the brave spot. Although it's
I
really close, eh? With the chasing up of Thomas T and Doc Mark at the bunch.
well, it's not as close. Like Sean Man is really in a deep lead. Like it's not like Sean Man is 4 points only ahead of eighth. Sean Man is actually 7 points ahead of eighth, and against fourth, which is he's still 4 points ahead. So Sean Man pretty much in a massive lead. About the same could be said about Andy Davis. Steve, not as safe, but still in a strong position. Thomas T is the main contender to steal one of those playoff spots, only being 2 points behind of Steve. So if anyone loses, especially Dave or Steve, then he can take their spot. Doc Mark and Sermol are also going to be looking to try and steal that spot, but they need more than just a loss out of those top 3 teams.
Yeah,
So
but there are still 5 games to go, and
yes, with 5 games there
one
is a lot
loss,
of
one
room.
loss. Again, it is like Division 2. One loss removes your chances to get the brave spot. So this is really exciting.
Well, on the top 3, I think most of them, at least Davo and Sean Man, can probably afford a loss and still be in a good position. They need a loss and a draw, or 2 losses. And because we know they are good coaches with good teams, then it's quite an ask for them to lose 2 games. It can happen, but right now their position is really commanding. Steve and Thomas T are the who I would say is most likely to end up swapping, with Thomas T qualifying instead of Steve, making this division a division where 3 agility-based teams qualify. And with that, slightly disappointing compared to Division 2. Let's go to the next few matches. And we start with Rebel Deluxe against the Underworld and Impressive. Dokmar coaching Rebel Deluxe, the humans. How
The
have
humans
they
who
been
killed
doing?
they killed baby Devo, so the witch elf in the
Yes.
last round. So despite they lost, they claimed a good scalp. That's nice. They have a 13-player team that at the moment is no. They have a
They
12
have
player that is 11.
11, but they do have the money to get some linemen.
Yeah, I think that they should. They need some fodder. They play with three catchers, right? I remember this team. They have a sacker that is quite nice.
Yeah, and
Um,
the better John. A lot
and the
better
better
now that,
John.
that John is
eh,
retired.
because John is no more, right? They have a dirty player, kicker, wrestler. No, this team looks really nice. Plus movement, accurate leader,
Yes.
block, thrower, quite standard but good. This is the fast human team in a way.
Yes. And a lot of agility thanks to that AG5 movement 8
Yeah,
with blood
some
as well.
four card. Yeah, they're nice. Three, one, two, three mighty blow. One of them with tackle piling on pro. So they have a killer.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember many changes. I think maybe the dirty player is new, but from last week I haven't seen much change on this team at
Yep.
least. And
So apparently
they,
he lost two linemen
ooh,
to a
guard
rock, and
lineman.
yeah, and minus armor value on a guard lineman really sucks.
Yeah, that's going to
Commiserations,
hurt long
commiserations,
term.
dogma. Yeah, but okay, they still have four guard, and it's quite good for humans.
Yes, and this week he is against JPKC and the Underworld, unimpressive.
Underworld tentacle
The favorite team of vikingkop, despite me never seeing him actually play Underworld. It,
tentacles.
do you ever play Underworld, vikingkop?
Never, never.
How
But
do
I
you?
love them.
You should play them. They are really fun. I really
Yeah,
like them.
I don't have time. I mean, one of my main
Play
problems with
them
this
in
game
one
is that
minute.
in 1 minute I'm going Norse.
Yeah, but you can play Underworld, which is
Yeah,
the best
true, but
thing.
I come from playing Skaven in
Play
one
them
minute.
in a
I want
one
to
day
change.
cup.
I don't want more rats. Oh,
Yeah, but
I only want to kill rats, please.
yeah, but like you can kill your own line rat because they're that bad. But
No.
yeah, the team once again not much changed from last week. I
Yeah,
believe
there's a change. There's a minus armor on Gerard the wrong way. That
no, he
really
didn't get minus
saddens.
armor. He already had minus armor. He got a niggle to go with
Oh,
that
come
this
on.
week. So
Boo.
he's really bad at living right now. Like really
But
bad.
but you can't really fire him because
Well,
he's so cool.
at this point he's a niggled halfling. I
No,
think you
he's
can.
strength 3.
Yeah, in terms of survivability, he's a niggled halfling. That requires him to be really good, and I don't think he's that good at this point.
But he's so cool.
Yeah, but like he tries to dive the cage, fails the dodge, and dies. Cause he's AV6 Nigel. Or even if he does but like make the ball go down, then he's just going to get blocked and die, cause he's AV6 and Nigel.
That's why you're never going to win Gman 1. You don't have the spirit. You don't have the spirit. Still, he's going to survive for one game more because he's missing this
Well,
one.
assuming he's not being fired.
No, come on. Do not fire him. JP Casey, do not fire him, please. That's so cool. That's just a nice player.
Yeah.
Still, they have the tentacle stroll, the killer, the rookie, and yeah, not good blitzer. That really needs only 2 SPPs, one touchdown or something to start doing something. His life, the carrier is quite nice.
Yeah.
The blocks 2 heads, but the rest of this team is so different to the underworld, to the
Yeah, they
the,
used to
the, the, the,
have
the
another good
Warpstone.
blitzer, but he
Yeah.
died, and another good thrower, but he died. And there is a lot of TV on this team on the Goblins, especially when you look at Gerald as well.
Well, the one with 2 heads, extra arms. There are two with 2 heads extra arms. One is with 2 heads block. That's good.
Well,
That's good.
the two heads
Ryan the unaerodynamic.
yes, I really like him.
The names,
I
the names
remember
are.
him from the casts.
Oh, come
But
on.
yeah, how do you rate this team against the human team we just saw?
No, I think that with this level of development and skills, the humans are going to chew through them, especially considering that they have two tackle mighty blow, two
Yeah,
block tackle mighty blow.
and
So
a
the
lot
goblins are
of
going to die.
agility.
Yeah. So they will probably outplay, making healthy plays when they have the ball, and then outbash them, just killing them once and again. So
First
it's
here,
sad times around the world.
here, vikingkop didn't say the Underworld are going to win despite all odds.
No, because the filthy humans really have the skills to bring them to the underworld. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I expect it to be a win for the humans. Very possibly a large TD win, like 2-0, 3-0, maybe 4-0. But
4-0 is way too much. I
yeah, it's
mean,
a
you're still
bit too
playing
much, but it really depends.
demigods.
Like, if he's really going to demolish goblins, it's going to be tough to defend. Like, you get the ball is kicked to you, you pick up, and then like humans are surrounding the ball and they're scoring 3 or even 2 because they have the agility and speed.
Well, but you have the throw teammate play possible. You
And
have a couple of goblins with 2 heads dodging in a 2+ and
not
extra
if they're
arms.
dead.
Yeah, of course, but you're not going to kill off the players. I mean, I hope that they will put a bit of a
Well,
decent screen.
4-0 is in case that the humans do get the damage. Because
And they get a couple of blitzes too. I mean, it's way too optimistic, I think.
it's, it's extreme, but it's not out of the picture, really.
But I would say that 2-0 is perfectly possible.
Yes. Well, with that, let's move to next match. We have Revolutionary Corpses against Absolute Disaster.
Camry! Camry!
Slacklazy's Camry against Thomas
Super
T's
bloated
Dark Elves.
Camry with a ton of cash. A ton of cash, come on, 60k extra. This mental.
Yes. I don't.
Joseph. Good
Well,
old Joseph. Doing
yeah.
Joseph
Well,
things.
we looked in depth into these teams last week, so not a lot of change. I believe Defend might be new on the thrower because he didn't actually pick it. We were considering the options, but outside of that, the team seems unchanged.
Yeah, I'm actually sad to see that he did not pick Dirty Player.
Crazy man. You're going to be a lot sadder later, but I'm not talking about that. But yeah, Camry team, pretty strong, pretty fun, and they have caused an upset last week against Samoa, so they might be able to do it again. They are playing against Thomas T's Absolute Disaster, who is 4th right now, just 2 points behind Steve, and possibly the best contender to ruin vikingkop's prediction
Hmm.
by qualifying instead of Steve, or
Hmm.
maybe Andy Davo. And he has a crazy team. He used to have a different witch with Mighty Blow Block, but she died, so he got a new one.
Yeah.
But once again, because we looked
Why
at
not?
these teams last week, not much changed. Skills are about the same. But still a very strong Dark Elf team. 6 Blodge, 2 Tackle, Mighty Blow on a Witch with Block, Juggernaut Strength on a Witch, and a very nice Blodge Step with Diving Tackle. That's
Yeah.
quite close to level for actual Tackle. Do you think that Camry can pull it off and cause another upset?
How much tackle is there in the Camry team? I,
Let's look.
do
There
they
is
have some
one
nice
tackle
tackle? Oh, one tackle in a blitz round with bloods.
and only
Oh,
and a movement bust, which is going to matter. Also, the
there
elves probably get a wizard,
yeah.
even though the Camry are bloaty.
The Camry guys need to fish for powers in this matchup, and this is going to be hard.
Yes. Oh, I'll
I
agree.
mean, if they get hot rolls, like for example in Division 60, Harringsworth got against Kejirus and got some good removals, then maybe the elves, no matter how much blots they have, will struggle to go through skin of Tom Guardians. But yes, with this lack of tackle from the Camry team and lack of block too, I would say that the Dark Elves are my favorite for this matchup.
I'll agree with you once again, which is odd considering we pretty much were on the opposite side of the fence every match in Division 2. And with that, let's move to the third match. Drop Dead Gorgeous against the non-high elves. So, Mr. Ladybug against Crow Dog. Let's start with
Ooh,
Mr. Ladybug. The beaten up pro. Ooh.
yeah,
He
Grotog lost a
fired.
wolf
He fired a
because he got
lot of his elves. He had a movement 7 catcher with I think just dodge, maybe blodge that he seems to have fired or lost. And there was a niggled catcher that also seems to have been removed from the team in one way or another. I believe he was movement 9 with dodge, maybe also block, but I don't quite remember. Maybe you.
mm, the non-high elves did play the Gyran Raiders this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they got minus agility in a catcher, if I remember correctly, and also another permanent in another perm in other player. So possibly the agility
Yeah,
3 catcher
someone
was,
died, so very
yeah,
possibly both catchers pretty much died, leaving him with only two really stupid OP catchers, but one of them is missing a game, which is not a good time to miss pretty
yeah,
much all
it's
your catchers.
1290 TV is kind of big drop.
Yes, but he will have some loners, two loners, but no bench is going to hurt, especially when he relies on a on a AV6 catcher that's kind of a one turner.
1450 for this game
His team is
against
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 Crow Dog. But yeah, the Pro Elf team are in a really weaker state compared to last week.
yeah, they
And
have,
a little bit more
well,
damage might cause them to have to reroll.
they only have 3 blodgers. That is their main asset against the Necro team because the Necro is stacked on guard. And well,
Yep, and now let's look on to Crow Dog's Top Dead Gorgeous. The Necro team stacked on guard.
and
Ooh,
with a rookie wolf because they got minus movement in the block one,
if,
so they seem to be paying the werewolf tax
yes.
this game.
Not the orthodox approach to paying taxes in Blood Bowl, but it works. And they
Yeah,
can even go to 13 players this week if they want.
yeah,
Only one
they have
tackle.
they have some, yeah, but this tackle is the killer.
Yes.
So it's a
A
block
good
tackle,
tackle to
mighty blow
have.
guard, yes, piling on, and also some sprinkled piling on. So you have an extra pile, sorry, mighty blow with a flesh golem with block and guard. Well, well,
Well, even with a movement 10 catcher, one turning against a team like this is going to be tough. Because two
it's going to
stand
be
firm and
it's
a
going to be
whole lot of
impossible.
guard.
It's going to be impossible, almost impossible. So
Really, also with not that much blodge remaining from Mr. Ladybug's team, this is going to be a really tough matchup. He doesn't really have ball sacking capability with his ball sacker being MNG'd. He does have that crazy movement 10 Agi 5, but is it going to be enough alongside his two good blitzers to face so much guard and a dirty player and just generally good players? Nothing incredible outside of maybe the killer, but just solid players that are going to be in your way, taking blocks on you for free, and very possibly outnumbering you quickly. He will have a wizard, which is probably the only hope in this matchup,
I would
considering.
say that this is we are going to see a game in which uh, the Necro are going to aggressively base all
Yes,
the all the elves
they
because
definitely
of
have
the
the
guard
guard.
spam, and then it will come to the to the rolls of dodges from the elves to, yeah, free themselves up. If they roll too many ones, and also rolling a one in a pro elf team with armor 7 is dangerous, they may be done.
Yes, but they will have a wizard, which is quite scary with a movement 10 a G5 guy. They might be
They
able
will
to pull
have
up.
no bench, and this movement armor 6 guy is going to be in the pitch.
Well, the big question here is, can they just score somewhat quickly on their own half, then use the wizard to score again with that movement 10 before he explodes, and then just go 2-0 up quickly enough to force a draw, or maybe even stall for a win here. Which is definitely possible. Elves do that. That's the Skaven game plan in a nutshell.
Yeah, basically brawls are escaping without tails.
Yes. And less smelly.
Yeah, way less smelly.
Yes. So, do you think the elves will have a chance here?
They will have a chance for sure, but I'm going to support the Necro in this matchup.
I'm going to say the boring option, and I'm going to expect a draw here. Very
Oh,
likely a 2-2 draw.
that's not a boring draw, eh? A boring draw is the
Yeah,
typical
but draw
one to
is
nil to nil.
boring.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's a result that is
Well,
not adding too
it's boring
much.
because both of them are going to be 100% out of the competition with that.
Yeah, drop their. Yeah, the Necro
Like,
need
they
really
are
Crowdor
both
need
quite
a
a
win
bit down.
to
Like,
keep himself alive.
compared to
Well,
Steve, which is the last qualifier, Cowdog is 4 points down, Mr. Ladybug is 5 points down. So maybe with a win, with a lot of wins for the rest of the season, one of them could steal that last spot. But with a draw
um,
here, pretty much both of them are going to be out of the competition.
yeah. I think that they need at least to reach 24, 25 points to qualify for the third place.
Well, Samoa is on 17, so to reach that 24, he just needs 2 wins and a draw
Yeah,
in his
exactly.
remaining matches. So 24 doesn't sound like enough unless Steve really flops.
No, I've said minimum.
Yes,
So it may perfectly be that they win all their games, all the remaining games, and still don't qualify.
yes. Although Kodog, if he does win 5 games, that will put him on 27, no,
With
28 points, which is
with
quite a lot. That would be impressive to end up not qualifying with that, but it happens.
yeah.
Because the big thing is that Andy, Davo, and Shulman can also flop alongside Steve. It's less likely. They have more room for mistake, but just one game more to make that mistake compared to Steve. But yeah, this, I don't know, I feel like this match will be a draw, and it's really bad for both teams, but that's how I feel.
We shall see.
Yes, and we'll look quickly at the teams of the played match. Bainsy and Random Boy played each other, broke pretty much every time on the blocks, and it was a 1-1
That's
draw in
nice.
the end. Yeah, like, they had 86 blocks out of,
Wow.
and like 43, which is half, were breaks, which mean, and those blocks include pushes, which are probably about a quarter of the blocks. So,
But also include the fouls.
yes. But still, more than half of the blocks probably were breaks, which is half of the knockdowns were breaks, which is insane.
Bainsy, what do you have to say about this game?
Well, that it was insane, and let's look not at Bainsy's team first, because that it's going to be fun to wait, because Bainsy will be super annoyed. Let's look at Random Boy's team. He did lose the MVP guy. He leveled up thanks to the MVP, but it was minus strength, so I assume he won't come back. Yeah, he was fired already. And I believe there was a wrestle or a kick throw here, or a wrestle kick throw that was fired. Probably,
Wrestle kick is in number 8.
no, there's
Do you
wrestle
think that
tackle.
I know it's wrestle tackle because I don't wear my glasses on. Um,
Yeah, I believe a thrall is missing from here as well. But Count Vladimir leveled up for block, which is pretty
nice.
good. And
Rasputin.
losing thralls is affordable. You can still buy 2 more thralls for next week, which we are not going to look at because that's week 10, which is really far off. But yeah, Boy not changing too much overall this season. He went into the season really close to how he's looking right now. Not the best season for him, but some of his higher SPP players are finally getting close to level up. The Salesman, Donald Trump, and the Taxman are still, like, Salesman is really close. The other two aren't that
Well,
far anymore.
well, I see some development. I mean, the Taxman has developed himself nicely with sidestep and pro.
He had that in
Uh,
playoffs.
he had sidestep and pro in
He
playoffs.
leveled for pro in playoffs.
Uh, Missed that. But Donald Trump didn't have block,
Yes,
right?
he did get the block during the season, but he was really close, I believe, in the end of the season, or in the end
Salesman
of the
got
playoffs.
tackle. He's about to level also the salesman, so that's nice. Possibly Blots also, unless he gets a double and then
I
Blots
think we
gets
might
the
see Mighty Blow, just to have
it's
a Mighty
natural,
Blow.
of course, of course.
Yeah,
Strength is a natural, normal role in vampires, and also, well, they developed a new vampire,
yeah,
so
he's just with block, but on the way for glory. The team still has more room to develop, because vampires pretty
yeah,
much always have more room to develop,
yeah,
but it's
and
not bad.
no garters in this team. That really
Yeah, that's the thing is, like,
is a problem.
not you need to roll doubles on thralls, and he did lose his guard thrall during the season. And like guard on vampires, you just have too many good skills, and it feels really awkward taking guard. You need to do it, but you
Mm,
never know when it's the right time. Because you want block, you want dodge, you want tackle, you want mighty blow, you want sidestep, you want sure hands possibly on one of them, you want pro very much on all of them to not need to reroll bloodlust. You have so many skills, and you don't start with anything. So
yeah, well, it's a complicated team.
yeah, it's a tough team to build. And Random Boy is slowly getting to a point where maybe he will be going to playoffs and going to show everyone that vampires are really strong. But right now, this season is not the one for him.
We already agreed that it was a development season for him.
Yes.
At least a vampire development season.
Yes, and he played against the guy who is probably waiting the most in chat for us to reach his team. He's playing Bainsy, and Bjorn got Legend. So this is the fourth G-Man Legend, Norse Berserker. The first, of course, being my idiot known as Knife Juggler, followed up by the best around, Longbong Silver. No one beats him in passes. And the third being the retired John. And now we have Bjorn bringing up back to 3 active G-Man legends.
And he picked Dauntless because
Yes.
he's a real macho.
Well, I explained my reasoning for leveling up Legend here. Most of your options are really awkward. I think the competition on normals, because it was a normals role, is Guard, Dauntless, and maybe Thick Skull. I think, especially with knowing how Bainsy plays, and in general how his team looks, Bjorn is just pretty much the base of the team. He needs to do damage for the team to do well. So you pile on a lot, so Guard feels weak, and you probably never want to base with him. So it's Thick Skull to be better against fouls, or Dauntless to deal with Strength 5 4 players. Any other option is quite weak and doesn't achieve much because you have all the skills you really want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Also, we get a new jetty.
yes, because the other one, I think, died, got niggled or something. I don't remember. But it died. So we have a new one called the T-Bells, and I really like him.
And we got another piling on player.
Yes, the pylon on the Berserker is new, which brings him back to 2 solid Berserkers. And he didn't take all the 30 player, he took some tackle and only one dirty player.
Okay. At least he got one.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's better than not taking more dirty players on level ups, according
Yeah,
to vikingkop.
he missed the chance of getting three more dirty players in the team who would have been probably overpowered OP for this division, meaning that he would have directly been promoted to Gman 1 and yeah, gave a playoff spot with a bye week also.
Yeah.
But well, we'll have to deal with this.
Also, a thing to remember is that he would have the internal synergy of having as many dirty players as Bjorn has movement, which is really
Yes,
important. Like, people don't understand how good that synergy is.
Benji, you don't fire a dirty player.
I don't think he fired a
He
dirty
wants to
player.
fire. He's thinking of firing the kicker, but I'm saying him no. The
I,
kicker
I
dirty
think,
player is a great asset in the team
yeah,
because you know
especially because it's your bench for
yeah,
long
well
term.
you place him in the defensive drive. He makes his job with the kick, and then he just goes fouling
Yeah,
like crazy, and that's his job. It's perfect. And then in the second half, he's probably sent off, and who cares?
yeah,
Kick is
like
not counting
kick
when you're attacking.
kick is not bad. It helps a little bit. Next level, if it doesn't roll anything, then it gets bloaty and quite bad. Because he's the price of two linemen at that point, and the tackle and kick are not very good.
If he rolls plus strength or guard,
Yeah, you keep him with guard because guard is really needed on the team, but then he never really fouls anymore, which is awkward, but it's still good enough because you really need that guard. You're willing to be
well,
bloaty to get guard.
you can always foul when you are up on numbers and you're
Yes.
dominating. If Bjorn is
Like,
doing Bjorn things,
yeah, like
uh,
fouling can still be an option, but you barely foul with him. You prefer to have other dirty players to do that job. vikingkop?
yep.
He just went silent, and
I
I
was
go
just pondering on the missed chance of getting
dirty.
40 players in the team.
So yeah,
Sorry.
Random Boy and Bainsy drew.
Yeah, and
So
Random Boy got the MVP into a minus strength throw.
yes, who
Yeah, but
is?
that's also a good MVP. We like that.
Yes, I will agree with Bainsy that his Norse team is very close to recovering. He still needs SPP on the Wolves and the Yeti, but if he does manage to get bench before the end of the season, next season he should have a much better season.
Yeah, both Wolves are really close to leveling. So
Just need
if he,
to hand off to them and score, or maybe
yeah,
get an MVP, or pass on
or-
turn 16. And that's the fourth match. The next match next week is the Locomotive Git Stompers, which is the Amazon by Hammersep, I believe, against Andy Davos Dark Delight.
yeah, and the girls have taken a beating
Yes,
these last weeks because this team looked so strong at the beginning of the season,
it's
and then yes, injuries just came,
the
just
team is
happened.
still looking quite well long term, but missing both a wrestle line woman and the guard block stand firm one, which is practically another blitzer. That's going to be quite a pain for next match. He still has a solid Amazon team. He has a pretty good surfer, a pretty good killer, and the two last blitzers are not bad. One with guard, one with tackle guard. But
So they still
that's
have they still have four guarders. That's cool. One of them, well, that's kind of a shame, but one of them is Tackle Mighty Blow Pylon Pro. So they have a killer. It will be good against the Dark Elves, especially against the kind of weak witch elves that Andy Davo uses.
yes.
Uh, he has also a very nice strength for movement 7 uh, frenzy stand and blitzer.
Yes,
So it's
the
actually
team,
kind of it's a semi witch elf.
well, it's arguably better because it has a strength 4.
Yeah, but agility 3 and no jump up. I mean, there are some pros and cons, but yeah, yeah, I
Yes,
like this player.
yes. The team still looks quite good. Like, it's not super amazing because Amazon is never that super amazing, but it's really strong. But missing those two players is going to hurt because it's your bench gone and it's one of your really good line women, which really pulls this team up in power level. Just having a semi fifth blitzer,
Look at
that's
this. It's
really
only
good.
130k for a Blood's Guard stand firm piece. That's cool. That doesn't feel bloaty.
Yeah, pretty insane. Now let's look at Andy Davo's team. He's playing Dark Elves, of course, Davo's Dark Elite, and he lost the Witch Elf to Dogmark, but he still has quite a bit of Lodge, but only 2 tackle remaining. I believe both teams are only on 2 tackles, so this is really going to be a matter of who can use their tackle better.
Well. He has only 2 tackle, but he has a lot of block. And the line women of the Amazons do not have block. So
Well,
basically,
some of
it's
them
quite.
do
Or some
have.
of them do, but not all of them.
Well, there is only 3 non-blodgers right now on the Amazon team. They will get 1 loner, so 4 non-blodgers, but that's not a lot. That's about the same amount of non-blodgers Andy Davo has.
Yeah, but considering that the Amazons will have no bench, every removal is really a pain for them.
Yeah.
Every removal against them, I mean.
But they will
Every lost
have
girl on the pitch
300,000 in inducements to counter that, which
would you
is
induce some line women
you,
with this?
I don't hate that they are pretty cheap, 80k, and you get
Mm-hmm.
a bench. Maybe your game plan is like you induce Zara and a line woman, if you can take that, or Zara and a babe.
But
So
Sarah is very expensive. Sarah
yeah,
is 250, 240, something like that.
well, you can definitely get Zara and a babe, I think, which is not bad. Zara is strength 4, which is another piece of strength which really complements your guard, and the stab can be really useful at times.
Stab against Stab against Dark Elves
Well,
is not the best option. Also, Dauntless in Sarah is wasted
yeah, but
in
it's
this team.
still a strength 4
Hmm.
player.
I would may prefer them to go with Berta.
Berta is not bad. He can even just like induce line woman with possibly just block to have even more blodgers to
But
make the life harder, or just get like 2 line women alongside a wizard, rookie line woman, which is still that gives you the bench, so you don't worry about damage too much, and you have the killer, so you have more control of who gets removed, and you have the bench and a wizard. Also, the guard advantage really going to matter here because just having guard really allows you to control the pitch. The guard difference is quite large, and both
yeah,
teams are rather dodgy and able to reposition, but having that guard to begin with means that you are always at a better spot. So yeah, this is going to be a tough match to predict, because it's pretty close in the end of the day. Because elves have the benefit of being agility 4, but Amazons have more guard and more utility in terms of because of the killing and a better frenzy player.
yeah. The Amazons are definitely stronger. That's a fact. That's a fact. The If the Dark Elves are able to disconnect uh, with a high percentage of success, I think that they will play the elf game against them. Will pick a few targets one by one. Will cripple them a little bit, and yeah, playing
Well,
against Dark Elves, if you can remove them, it's gonna be tough.
the thing is, both teams are quite mobile because the line will, like all the Amazon team has dodge.
No,
So
but I don't consider. I'm sorry, but I don't consider the Amazon's mobile with maximum movement 6.
he has a movement 7 guy,
Yeah,
Gal,
strength 4. Girl, yes,
strength 1,
exactly.
and like the Dark Elves are not that much faster. They have 6 total movement 7, but the runner is not going to
Uh,
be very good aggressively because he's a really easy target to remove.
yeah, but still, 6 movement 7. It's a
It's
boost.
it's a boost, but it's not like you are completely outspeeding them. It's not Kemri to Wood Elves outspeeding.
Yeah,
It's
and
you
just
are slightly faster.
yeah, and you have also extra movement in implemented in the side steppers, because if he uses the side steppers to base some Amazons, as I would probably do, um, he can really gain or manage the terrain, the let's say the tackle zones at his will, because blood step is simply so good
It is,
in an
but
elf
on
team.
the other hand, there is a Blood Stand Firm Strength 4 player from the Amazon, which is going to be really difficult to maneuver around.
It
Because,
would be funny if the Amazons would outsurf the Dark Elves in
well,
this game.
because they have the better Surfer, they should be better at it, but I think both coaches are at the level where they are not going to give out easy serves. I wouldn't be surprised to see zero serves, because no one really commits ever to the sideline, knowing that the opponent will commit to serve them.
Mm,
This is
We
going to
shall see. Still, I think that Andy Davo, with this strong team and being such a good pro coach, has the upper hand. Although
I don't
we love
know
the
if
Amazons too.
I don't know if I agree with you.
That's
I
nice because it's not common for us to agree.
Yes. I don't know. I think the Amazons should have quite a good chance here, thanks to guard and thanks to being stronger. Because they really like the sidestep is annoying to deal with, but usually they still can dictate the position on the pitch, and the speed of the Dark Elves is just marginally faster, but you can still have good sweepers. Like the Dark Elves pretty much can never outrun teams. That's not how Dark Elves play. Dark Elves are the grindy elves. And I think the Amazons have the tool to stop the grind gameplay from a team that is just weaker and not much faster.
Yeah, maybe yes.
But yeah, going to be interesting to see that result being a draw. But let's dream about a world where one of us is correct. But this
So
one,
next game is the leader, Primetime Nibblers versus Samoa. Oh,
ooh,
that's also an interesting game.
that's
It's
going to
first against
really
third.
matter. If
Oh yes.
like Steve pretty much has to take this one. If he does, he really he pushes Sean Man down and gets into being in the safe spot while Sean Man is the one being in danger. But if he loses this, there is a lot of room to overcome him. Docmark, Ceramol, Thomas D can all pass him on the leaderboard. Let's look at the teams. Uh, Sean Man, Primetime Nibblers are really, really strong and quite
No big
expensive.
rat. No big rat.
Well, Big Rat is a star player. You can't get him. But he has two really good Storm Vermin and three really good Gutter Runners, and I don't think the team changed from the last time we saw them. I believe we already saw the fourth Gutter Runner being killed or fired.
I think they got guard. Sorry, block in this gather. Maybe
Uh,
not sure.
we can check that. Yes, they did, because he got the
Yeah.
MVP.
Yep. Yep. So pretty solid looking. Max, max, max min. I would say TV trim scamming squad.
Yes, three amazing Gutter Runners, two amazing killers, okay line rats, and just that's the team and some bench. But not too much
Yep.
bench, but he does have the money to get more.
Yeah, I would go for one bench definitely with only 50k to place the one turner in a safe spot.
Yeah. You can see why he is the top place in the division. His team is really strong, but he's
His two
playing
stone vermin are really good.
yes, two quite developed killers, both with claw, which is nice to get. and they already have Mighty Blow. One of them has Piling On, one of them has Guard. That's pretty nice. He's playing this week against quite a tough opponent, I think. He's playing Steve, and Steve has a lot of Mighty Blow on his team. There is 5 Mighty Blow right now. 2 of them with Claw, which is not going to do very much in this matchup. Now, the big thing here is that there is no sure hands from Steve, but he does have quite a lot of kill capacity.
Yeah, the killing potential of this Chaos Squad against Rats is awesome. They are basically going to chew through the
Line
linemen.
Rats.
Yes, and they can even put a good hit into one of the gutters that I think is a rookie. So with the Chaos team, you can easily create a 3 dice in a gutter runner, and even only with block, it means that you are bringing him down like yeah, like 60% of the time. And with Mighty Blow implemented, of course, if you use the tackler, then
Yeah, that's a
much better.
natural. That's only one assist for the 3 dice, and you have
Yeah,
tackle and block. So
yeah.
1 in
Only one
8.
guarder, not so critical against Skaven, especially with 5, strength 4 players in the team. Just base aggressively and force them to roll dice and fail them and die to that floor, or simply kill them in the line of scrimmage and after basing. But with the 2 amazing bleachers that the Skaven have, they could remove some of the high strength players from the chaos and then put them against the ropes.
Well, it's not even that. The gutter, the Skaven has a natural one turner with 2 heads, so the natural one turn is really quite simple. And they have a ball sucker, which is going to be insanely difficult to stop. He has leap, dauntless, wrestle, strip ball, which means even if you carry with your strength 4, if he makes the dauntless roll and the leap roll, that's a super easy sack. Even if he doesn't make the dauntless roll, because of strip ball and wrestle, he just, if he doesn't roll skulls, which is 70% to not roll skulls, he still gets the ball down, which makes protecting the ball really tough here. And then you also need to hope Sean Man doesn't one turn on you. And
Yeah,
I definitely see this match like Sean Man steals the ball, scores, then maybe even Steve gets to score on his half then Sean Man one turns, gets the ball again after one turning, one turns again, and that's game, because it's 3-1, and the Chaos just don't have the time to recover.
yeah. Well, the rats also have one of the biggest killers in the entire Gman. This is Sunfire, who has basically made an average of 2 to 3 casualties per game for the last 2 seasons. So as soon as the chaos guy starts losing players and he has less beastmen than rats on the pitch, they are really going to struggle.
It's going to be tough to reach that point though, considering
Yes.
how much Mighty Blow the Chaos have. Because line rats are going to be destroyed quickly and efficiently. So yeah, this really depends on how quickly can Sean Man reach a winning position, and how quickly can Steve make the rat team just not exist. Because if the rats hold even a little bit and buy Sean Man the time, then Steve will just lose, because the other team has every tool to steal the ball and score against him very quickly, very efficiently. But if he does manage to remove enough players and force gaps and not allow maneuvering, then maybe he can scrape a win from here. But I think the matchup really favors Sean Man, because his team is that much more developed, because all of his positionals are really scary outside of one good rookie gutter runner.
I think so. Yeah, I think that you're right. The Skaven are they really have a powerful team.
Yeah, just
They don't have any extra weight.
just
Even,
they're even cheap, which is why they are so dirty.
Of course, if they start scoring and then they have to place players in the line of scrimmage and they only have 3 rookies and these rookies start dying, uh, they would need to risk a few of the positionals, and
Well,
that's
the thing
that's gonna
is,
hard.
right now he's on 12, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to 13 or even 14, which kinda allows him to start to just have the bench. And in worst case scenario, you give up your dirty player or your kick or the rookie gutter runner or the guard guy. It's going to be very unlikely that he needs to put one of the good positionals on the LOS. So yeah, this is a race for Steve. Can he kill enough rats quickly enough? And the answer will usually be no, but sometimes it's yes. And then the Skaven just can't do enough things to actually end up winning. I think the big player here is going to be the strip baller. If somehow Steve can remove him early on, before he manages to sack the ball, then he might have a shot at this game. Even though the one turner is still enough to win the game on his own. Anything you would like to add?
Nope, not really.
Well, now let's move to the last matchup. We have the Three Musketeers and Spurs against the Gyran Raiders, which is Pixie Rail's Rats, which are quite disappointing compared to Sean Man, which is understandable. They do have a natural one-turner, but the rest of the team, not as good. One of the Storm Vermin died before, we have seen that. I believe the Mighty Blow on the guard guy might be new, which is good. Getting a killer back is really important. But the gutter runners feel a lot less purposeful. Like,
Mm.
like
Well, of course, this team is almost 300 TV less than
yes,
the
well,
primetime levelers, so there is a lot less development. So the killers are not the killers
yes,
as
and
those of Seedman. The gutters are not bad.
well, even that, like when you compare, like Sean Man's block sidestep went diving tackle, which makes him really annoying for agility teams to deal with, and the ball sacker is not block strip ball, is block wrestle, and he was also able to get dauntless and leaf, which really makes him tough to deal with. But the natural one turn is really amazing right now because it's a natural one turner. No, it's always amazing.
Yeah, they are cheating. They should die, all of
Yes.
them.
Yeah. This team still has a long way, but it's not a bad Skaven team. They have some of the fundamentals. They need better Storm Vermin, but they are really tough to level up and start to get going. The natural
Yeah,
one
that's
turner is a hell.
one of the big problems of Skaven because they need to have good stone vermin
Yeah,
to
like
work.
you would expect that because they are AG free, it would be simple to know when you can hand off to them. But the team is so frail, and you're always in a constant positioning of like, I need to score now and quickly. That like it always feels awkward to hand off to a Storm Vermin. But a good Skaven coach needs to know when he can actually develop them because rookie Storm Vermin don't do much, but when they have Mighty Blow, Claw, Tackle, they can win you games.
Yeah, and they earn SPP on their own. Once they have Mighty Blow and either tackle or if you're lucky, claw, they can basically feed their SPPs
Yes.
for themselves by themselves.
Yep. And they are facing this week the Gyran Raiders from Thermal and Nurgle team.
Ooh,
Quite bloated. They got a lot of level ups.
Serumol, who got many level ups and who has 3 tackles last time we checked him.
Yes. He got
2 of them with Mighty Blow, one dirty player, wrestle dirty player. Ball carrier got through hands, so only roll normals. Boring.
well
After dodge and +2 movement, I was expecting something funky, such as I know,
well
extra armor.
no, you don't take that. To be honest, even something like strength and agi feels quite
Oh,
awkward to take because like you really want block and show hands. You really do. And
This beast of Nargle.
yes, it got
This
break
beast of Nargle.
tackle. No block
Wow.
yet. Might be cycled if Thermal feels daring, but probably not. Also, I believe one of the rotters leveled up for Wrestle, this guy, and very possibly uh, one of the Nurgle warriors also leveled up, because there were 4 levels. vikingkop can possibly give me more information.
Uh, I do not.
He does not
I,
know.
I just checked that there were like 4 players leveling of 5 out
Yes.
of this
Yeah.
game.
The Nurgle warrior, one of them, when Blood Bowls deciding to work again. The one with block and guard, he got guard, which is new. And maybe even the rookie, the block one, got his level thanks to this match.
I think that one of the Nargle warriors got tackle. No, he already had
No,
tackle. So
both of
one
them.
got guard and the other got block maybe.
Yeah, it makes sense. And the Beast of Nurgle got break tackle, and ball carrier got sure hands.
Which is kind of cool, of course.
Yes. And
So this game, I think that the rats are going to struggle.
yeah, Thermal has quite a good team. He has the tackle, he has the mighty blow. The big advantage of the Rats is the natural one-turner, but Nurgle are probably one of the best teams to actually do things against the natural one-turn, because they can make that catch to start the one-turn 4+, which is a lot more difficult than just like that's an actual dice roll that you need to make that isn't simple compared to the usual of just like pick up with a gutter runner, go and hand off, so 2+2+, and then like 2+ dodges and a 2+ GFIs to score. Like, and that 4+ can very often fail even with a reroll. So yeah, I'll agree with you that the Skaven are going to have a tough time, but they will have inducements, and Skaven can do quite a lot with inducements. They can go gutter runner, wizard, and 6 gutter runners are a pain. But yeah, I think even with the good inducements, Skaven should have a slightly tough matchup here, just because of how well developed Ceremony team is starting to look. And with that, I believe we are done with Division 2, but I'm not sure how stable my internet is right now. Are you here, vikingkop?
Yeah, I'm hearing. I heard you a bit robot. In the last moments, I'm trying to see if there is an issue with my
No,
computer.
it's probably my internet because the stream is flicking as well, I believe. It should be on my side, but I'm recording it on my end as well, so
Oh,
YouTube
okay,
will
okay.
not know.
We
But
will see in YouTube later. Yeah. So
yeah,
this is also a very interesting division. I mean, I was not expecting. We are entering week 9 to have such an exciting times in the top divisions because I would say that the boring one with is Gman one at the moment.
well, I think Gman 3, if like Steve wins the match, and then like Sean Man, Andy Davo, and Steve just constantly win games, that's like super boring and actually quite likely. Steve can probably handle even with a draw, and they just all do well afterwards. But yeah, Division 3 still has some interesting part because I think Steve might not ending up qualifying, and you have a lot of contenders to take that from him. And Division 1, despite having such a quite a large gap, because of the 2 additional playoff spots, there is still a lot to fight for. And with that, regardless of vikingkop being able to hear me or not, I believe it's
Yeah, I
going to
hear you.
be the
I heard
recap.
you, Mr. Robot.
Yes. this is going to be the recap for week 8 of the top divisions of Gman. Thank you so much for vikingkop for joining me.
Thanks to you for spending some time with us, reviewing these really interesting times in the top of Gman.
Yeah, it's a good time. I would like to thank Infinite Pink for sort of being in the cast at least, thanks to playing the game mid-cast and me noticing it, which is good enough to qualify being here. We don't have much demands really. We just really want to have him back because it's fun
Yes,
being all three.
we hope. Let's cross our fingers for next week.
Yes. And I would also like to thank everyone that watched on Twitch and anyone that watched on YouTube. And I hope to see you again next week for some more exciting, really close Division 2 action and a little bit of the other divisions that are less fun.